Well, if ever there is a holiday to try something new that scares you, certainly Halloween is it. Right now I'm taking on a project that is making me a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, and that is because I've given myself 2 big challenges. But before we dive into all of that, if you're new here, hi, I'm Kaylee. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, we are talking about all the fun little ways you can interact with everyday magic. And in this video, we are going to be interacting with the everyday magic of knitting a fun holiday seasonal sweater. And as I've said, I'm a little bit nervous for this project for 2 main reasons. Number 1 is that this is my very first Colorwork knitting pattern. I have never knitted Colorwork before. I stumbled across this one from Saskia & Co. This is the Nocturnal sweater. I've had this thing saved on my Pinterest for at least years now, and I've been returning to it over the past couple months, and I just can't shake it. I am really excited about this project. I have to have this sweater. And for me, I'm already a slow crafter. Things take me a long time to complete. I'm an ADHDer, so I don't always finish everything that I start. So for me, if there's any likelihood of me getting this thing done in time for Halloween, I've got to be excited about it. That's all there is to it. This is the project that I am the most passionate about, that I am the most motivated to start. So this has got to be it. This is the one that I'm going for. Which brings me to challenge number 2. I want this to be done in time for Halloween. At the time of recording, this is the first week of September. I think today's the 4th. I don't know, stay-at-home mom life. I never know what day it is. So this would give me about 2 months to finish the sweater. And while that may sound like an ample amount of time, again, I am a very slow knitter. I don't think I've ever completed a sweater in that amount of time. I'm trying really hard to manage my expectations. You know, the biggest part about learning any new skill is that you're gonna suck at it. And so I want to make sure that I am giving myself enough grace to have to rip back. And I might even have to do that more than once. So I am trying to be mindful of that as far as the timing of this project goes. I knit a couple of swatches. I was able to meet gauge with the yarn that I'm using doing the straight stockinette stitch. I was kind of able to practice the color work itself. I know myself well enough to know that if I have to make one more test swatch of this pattern, it's gonna kill any and all motivation that I have, and that's the driving force for me. Once motivation is gone, it ain't coming back. So I'm gonna preserve what I have. I'm gonna save this passion for the actual project and just dive right in. Wish your girl luck, because I feel like I'm gonna need it. I wanted to get myself established before chatting with you guys. I very quickly fell into a flow state and got carried away. This pattern kind of ran away with me, and I think that's a good sign. Right now, I am about halfway through the charted portion of the pattern. So far, it's going pretty good, if I do say so myself. And I do. The one thing that I am noticing, especially with these earlier rows here, is just a little bit of puckering. I've never knit, oh geez, is it continental? The one where you throw your yarn? I've never knit that way before. I've always used the German way of knitting. So I was super careful to leave extra room when I was throwing my yarn, but I completely neglected to leave extra room when using the German way of knitting that I typically use. Thankfully, I figured that out pretty early on. I think that's the only area where there's any noticeable puckering. I'm hoping it'll block out okay, but I mean, it's mostly an acrylic yarn. It's 80% acrylic with only 20% wool in it, so I DK how well it's gonna block. We'll see. But for the rest of it, like you can see these guys, not too shabby. Yeah, I just have one more section in the pattern to go before I get to the kitties, which I'm very excited about. And then it's pretty much just straight knitting from there. Oh, I need to do a try on. Even if I have to rip back and do this, I will say that I am really shocked at my progress so far. Normally something like this would take me a few weeks. This is one of those rare projects where I'm actually dedicating a lot of time to it, where I feel like, oh, I just got to do one more row because I am so excited about it, which is a good thing. Hopefully, even if I do need to rip back, I can recover and make up that ground pretty quickly. I don't know. I think I'm just going to try to make it to the increase round and then do a little try on, and we'll see from there. I just realized that before I forgot to mention what yarn I am using. I am making this sweater using Line Brand yarn, Wool Ease in the colors Natural Heather as my main color and Arrowwood as that golden yellow accent. The second contrasting color is the Wool Ease recycled yarn in the color Black. So, I have now made it this far into the pattern. We are at the kitties portion. I think I might rip it back. Oh, I don't really know what to do. The problem is that when I lay this down, or even when I've done a couple of try-ons, the puckering is not extreme, but it does bubble out. It really does bulge, especially in the back. Like it humps out. When I had gotten to about this point in my knitting pattern, I thought, maybe I should rip back, but actually, maybe I'll just be able to block it out. So I continued on, and the more I look at it, the more that I'm working with it and trying it on and seeing it, I just don't like it. So earlier today, I looked up a few articles and videos about like how to block out puckering, and I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to have the flexibility, the pliability to like knead out the strands as much as I would have to in order to get the puckering out. And the thing of it is, with handmade items, with slow fashion, it takes time, right? Like obviously it takes time. This is about 14 hours of my life right here, probably even more than that. It would really break my heart, honestly, to rip back and undo all of that time. But at the same time, is it worth the 20, 30 plus hours that I am going to spend in finishing this piece if the puckering and the final result is so distracting that I don't feel comfortable when I wear it, and then I don't reach for it and I don't get use out of it because it just doesn't fit me the way that I want it to fit me? I think this is one of those situations where it's worth it to take time to make time, so to speak. I think it's worth undoing a few hours to get years and years of wear out of this piece. I'm glad because looking at this piece, like I can see all the progress that I've made, and I can see my stitches improving from one section of the pattern to the next, and that's really exciting. So I know that when I rip back and redo it, it's going to look even better and it's going to be even more awesome, and I'm going to love it even more than I already do. It does fit me well. I was nervous before that it was going to be like way too small, maybe wouldn't even fit over my head or my shoulders, but I do think my gauge is correct on this one. And even if it does end up being like a little bit snug, I know that that is something that I can fix with blocking. As for the puckering, I'm just not willing to risk it. So I'm going to tear back. Well, and then we get to just spend even more time with this project. Here we go. Okay, so I have reached the point in the pattern where I am just about ready to start the ribbing down here. I am making the cropped version. It's so funny because I am seeing this and I'm like, it needs to be longer, but obviously there's more ribbing to do. It's very breezy, which I quite like. Obviously, I'm thinking it's going to cinch a little bit in because of the ribbing, but we'll see. As of right now, I like that it does have a little bit of a flow to it. It's curling up a bit, so it is a little bit difficult to kind of like get the vision for it. But where I'm at right now is I'm about to start the ribbing on the bottom, and then I am going to get started on my sleeves. I'm really torn between, do I do the ribbing in this arrowwood yellow color or black? I was thinking for the sleeves, I was going to do one or the other, like have one sleeve be black and one sleeve be yellow, but I didn't really give any thought to the hem, if I want it to be different than the ribbing on the collar, or if I want it to be the same. I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with it a little bit. Again, I am a little nervous about the lumpy bumpies. It's not as bad as it was before I ripped everything back, but it's still there. It's still bugging me. Before it was a full hump. So at least it's not that severe. And again, hoping that blocking is going to help me out here. It's funny because I've been knitting my own clothing for a couple of years now, but I am still very new to blocking because for the first probably 3 or 4 sweaters that I knit, I didn't even know that blocking was a thing. Oops. So I'm still very new to blocking and still not an expert on like what can be achieved with it. So fingers crossed it helps me out with this lumpy bumpiness, because apart from that, I think it's looking pretty good. It's very cozy. I am so excited to wear this. I actually quite like the look and fit of this just as a little slip over. But anyway, for now, I'm going to get started on the ribbing. Let me know what you would have chosen, if you would have kept it the same yellow or if you would go with black. I don't know. I'm too indecisive for this. Okay, moment of truth. It is officially off my needles. I feel so good. Yeah, I feel like as soon as I finished the colorwork portion of it, it was really hard to keep going, especially on the sleeves. I felt myself getting really bored. I always feel that way when I get to like the final parts of a knitting project. I just want to be done. So I just kind of locked in, finished knitting. That's why I didn't really film any of that process. But all that's left right now is obviously weaving in some of these ends. And it's not my favorite, but I'm sure it'll go by. And then blocking. I already mentioned I'm a little bit nervous about the blocking for the puckering that's all along the chest. At this point though, it is what it is. I think it looks okay when it's on, so I'm not like too worried about it. As of right now, I'm actually really happy with the length of the sleeves. I don't want them to grow out too much more. I was expecting them to be a little bit shorter, but I mean, this is pretty much how I always wear my sweaters. I almost never wear sweaters or sweatshirts all the way down, so I like that I can pull it up, and then if it gets cold and I absolutely need to, I can pull them down for a little bit of time. As for the bottom, it is fine. If it doesn't grow anymore, it's fine where it's at. I do want it a little bit longer though, just slightly. I did the cropped version anyway. And as it stands like this, I think it's actually kind of perfect. But this I don't mind that it's coming up so high. It's just that I'm gonna be wearing this in cold weather, so I don't want my belly to freeze. But overall, I'm really happy with the fit so far. I'm genuinely curious as to how it'll block out. So now I'm gonna sit down, weave in all of my ends with some like fall ambiance in the background. And then I'm gonna stick this fella in the bath and get to blocking. And then it'll be done just in time for Halloween. Wish me luck. Well, in taking on this project, I set a couple of challenges for myself that I was very nervous I wouldn't be able to meet. One was taking on and learning a new skill in my knitting journey. The other, a very short window of time, at least for me, to complete a project. I can't believe I actually accomplished both. Colorwork is something that I've wanted to try, that I've wanted to take on, like I said in the beginning of this video, for years now. But I just had it in my mind that like once I get better at knitting, then I'll be ready for colorwork. And what does that even mean? I didn't even set parameters for myself. And also, the only way you learn to do a new skill is by doing that new skill. The only thing that I would suggest before taking on like a colorwork pattern like this is to do at least one knitted garment. The fact that I knew how to generally knit a sweater, how I knew what ribbing and increasing and how to separate the body and the sleeves, like already having experience with those skills really helped me just focus on the chart and the colorwork, learning that portion of it instead of having to learn a ton of things all at once. But I mean, you don't even have to take that advice. If you fall in love with a colorwork sweater, that's what you want your very first knitting project to be, I say go for it. Do what you're excited about. Use that passion to motivate you to keep going. Because yeah, honestly now I'm kind of kicking myself that I haven't tried this sooner. I think the biggest thing that helped me knit this sweater in the time frame that I allotted for myself was the fact that I brought this with me everywhere. Knitting the sweater saw me through things like doctor's office waiting rooms and play dates at the park and cafe dates, 20 minutes there, 5 minutes here. Those little pockets of time really compounded into major progress. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from this project, is to always have a project with me on the go, filling in those little windows where normally I would reach for my phone. By the way, I just listed all the things that this sweater saw me through, but I'm genuinely curious, what did this video see you through? I love to watch YouTube videos while I'm like cleaning or knitting on the couch or things like that. Like, what did you get up to while we were hanging out together? I would genuinely love to know. Please feel free to tell me in the comments. As for the pattern itself, I thought it was super easy to understand, and I genuinely am super excited to try more patterns from this designer. This dried and finished blocking on Halloween, so I was able to like pull it right off the blocking mat and then slide it on so I could take my kids trick-or-treating. I got a ton of compliments on it. Like, as makers, you guys know that is like the best feeling when you put so much of your time and effort and heart and soul into a piece, and then you're like, I will take the compliments. It felt really good to like have my hard work be recognized like that. But speaking of the blocking portion, it didn't really do much. It definitely helped my stitches lay a little more cleanly, a little more flat throughout the body of the sweater, but the puckering didn't really come out. I do think the main reason for the puckering was the fact that the ply on the black yarn was a little bit thinner than the other two. That's just a learning lesson. I'm okay with it. It's not super noticeable. If you are a knitter and you are experienced with color work, maybe you would notice it. Most people, they're not really going to be able to tell, and that's fine. Like, it's not distracting. I don't think it takes away from the pattern or the color work, so I'm happy with it. This was such a fun way to get into the fall, autumn spirit, knitting a seasonal sweater. And now that it's November, I love that it's not too Halloweenish. Like, I can still wear this well throughout the rest of the fall and it fits right in. It's so cozy. It's so comfy. I absolutely love it. This is like jumped to the top of my favorite me-mades ever. This is a tradition I would like to take on every year. A nice like Halloween-ish, fall-ish knit and a wintry Yuletime knit, things to help me basically keep my seasonal affective disorder at bay once the days start getting shorter and colder and sadder and grayer. Yeah, I just think it's a really cute, fun, simple, magical way to welcome in the season, to acknowledge the turning of the wheel of the year. So yeah, if you are also somebody who loves the idea of finding new, fun ways to interact with and create more everyday magic for yourself, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel because that is what we are all about, and share this with a cozy friend. The main reason I started a YouTube channel in the first place is that I don't have a lot of like in real life friends that I can talk to about this kind of stuff. So I thought it would be fun to cultivate an online coven of like-minded, cool people, and commenting, sharing, liking my videos goes a long way in helping support me in that mission. I will catch you guys next week where we talk about the everyday magic of self-care through a fun little challenge I'm doing that will hopefully help it make it easier for me to feed myself and reduce my food waste as a neuro-spicy person. So make sure you check back in next Friday for that video. But until next time, I love you and appreciate you so much for watching. As always, stay magical, my love. Bye.
Gotta get all that water out.
But oh my god, it took forever. I thought it was never gonna be done.